Perfect.
Better?
No problem with with the new technologies.
Yes, I've never done this one before, so I'm used to Zoom and Facebook or
Yeah, it's
FaceTime.
your first time in Instagram.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, it's an honor.
Uh,
I'll I'll try to do with my wait, with my better English.
okay.
Um, mm, I'm so happy. It's an honor, really, to have with us today.
I'm trying to find better light.
And thanks for your time. And yesterday I see your music room. Is this
That's where we're at right
what?
now. Yeah, this is my little space in our place.
Uh, Wanna so to ask something, some guitar, some pedals, some little amp, or
Well,
something
this
special for
is
you,
a
or
special one that I made. Thor Harris from Thor
yeah.
and Friends made me this body. It's out
Wow.
of mesquite, and it took me the COVID lockdown to
Yeah.
put it together. But it's a nice guitar, and I play with Al Kizzies and Vinny
Hmm.
Signorelli, and I use this guitar for that.
Thor, a good friend from many years now.
Yeah, so that's that one. That's the latest one, I guess. And then you can see behind me, there's
Yeah.
a Swans guitar,
Yeah.
and there's an older Swans guitar, and
This red one is the Saint Vitus live concert. Your solo concert in Saint Vitus, Vitas.
yes, yes, that's that
Is
guitar.
that?
That's my main ambient guitar. It does a lot of different
Yeah.
things, whereas a guitar like that
Yeah.
kind of does two things.
Yeah.
Although I do
How are
have
you?
a record called Bedroom Off that's on Secret
Yeah.
Records, and I play the Telecaster on that.
Ah, this is the collaboration with Dave, no?
No.
He makes the video with that song with Bedroom Off.
Oh, I think yes, part of it. Part
Yeah.
of it.
Um, Many time without concerts, without touring, with the COVID, the coronavirus,
Yes.
pandemia. How are you?
We're okay here. I have family. I have a wife and a daughter,
Yeah.
a dog and a cat. Um, we're okay. Um, it opened up a little bit here, but now we have all the new things that are happening.
Hmm.
So we'll see. But
You
everything
are
will
in
be okay.
You are in New York.
Yes, New York City, the Lower East
Yeah.
Side.
Well, and what are the things now in, or who are the things now in New York City?
What do you mean?
You
How are
can
things?
go
Oh,
to a street and go
eh,
to,
theoretically, yes, you can walk around with outside without a mask.
uh,
I'm vaccinated. Everybody that
yeah.
I know personally is vaccinated. Um,
Hmm.
Going into stores, it's an option, but I always wear a mask. I think it's a smart thing to do. And the subways, you don't
Yeah,
need to wear a mask today, but I do.
yeah.
I just rather do that than take a
Hmm.
chance. I mean, I can still get sick or I can give it to somebody else if I happen to be carrying.
Yeah, yeah. Your position is very respectful with
Yeah.
all the people in all the pandemia. Be careful, be respectful with the others.
How is it
Um,
in Barcelona? You're west of
yeah,
Barcelona, southwest?
I'm in Barcelona. and subways we need to wear mask.
Is it enforced, or
And
do you just choose to do it?
what?
Do you have to wear a mask?
Yeah.
They enforce it. Yeah, they don't enforce it here yet.
Yeah, in the subway, in the bus, in the street, many people wear.
Yes.
Many people. Now it's not. Mm, ah, uh, we can to don't wear mask,
Right.
but many people wear.
Sure. They should.
And with friends, we are vaccinate.
Yeah.
This is with two doses.
Right.
Like that. And but there are many new cases.
Yes. It's starting to ramp up a little bit
Many
here
new
too.
cases.
Yeah.
Many new cases with the Delta and the Delta variant.
Yeah.
And it's weird because we are worse than the last year, but we don't need to wear mask.
Right.
It's
Do you go to shows?
strange.
Are there shows you can go to?
It's only little shows in my town
Yeah.
and in open places.
I see. We opened full on a while ago.
Yeah.
I don't know how long that's going to last.
Yeah.
My wife and I, we went and saw Lydia Lunch and her
Mm-hmm.
band, and
Yeah.
Stu Spasm and his band, the Art Gray Noise Quintet. And it was really fun,
Mm-hmm.
and it was very crowded, but it
Yeah.
felt very strange to be in a room of people
Yeah.
not wearing masks.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I think we are in the time with be careful, but not afraid, but respectful.
No, I think you have to be a little afraid, cautious, I guess.
It's normal.
Yeah.
I think it's normal. Yeah. Talking with many people, we are making these live connections about 1 year. And we talk with Dave Abrucis from Pearl Jam, Steve Von Till from Neurosis, and Lee Ranaldo from Sonic Youth. And you are people always touring, making songs, sharing your music with the other people, touring around the world. You with Swans have a concert in Barcelona. 2 times canceled.
Yes, last year, right?
Last year and this year.
Yes.
Yeah. And we are not ready to stop our lives. Our education is not about being a stop.
Right.
In a place, for you, for Swans, the decisions of stop the tour, stop the...
Well, you couldn't fly, and then for a band like Swans to tour, you have to be able to go everywhere. Like if one country, say, I plan on going to Ireland in October, so it's okay for me to go there, but it very much is not okay possibly to go other places. So that's just me, so it's easy.
Yeah.
Whereas you have a whole band, and then you have people who live in Germany, in Iceland, you have people who live all over the place, and it becomes more difficult. It's a big undertaking to do a Swans tour. And it's sad that everything got canceled. I mean, not much you can do about it. It's what happened. When they're going to reschedule next year, I guess.
Yeah.
2022.
Maybe next year, no?
Is Primavera going to happen this year?
Yeah. Next year is Primavera happen.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It
10 days.
Happened? Oh, it's happening coming up.
the next year is the planning or
Right.
the rooster is about 10 years of live music. 10 years.
Wow.
The bands of the 2 editions of the 2020 and 2021 in in one week. Yeah, it's a little crazy idea.
Wow.
But I think they are liars and contracts and these things in music, and bands are delayed the concert, but next year sing you for play and don't to don't the money in that year. Next year better,
Right.
with the festival in 10 days. This year you have edit in Drag Acid Photoscene collaboration with Jacek Mazurkiewicz.
Yes.
Jacek.
Here, let me find. I have some here. Jacek. He's a gentleman. It's
pretty.
A little shilling here. He
yeah.
opened. He plays acoustic bass with effects.
Yeah.
And he opened for Swans. One of the times, I think he played with us 2 nights, and I'm not sure if it was in Russia or if it was in Poland. He lives outside of Warsaw. So we made arrangements, like we'd like to do something together. And eventually he saw that Michael and I were doing solo shows in Warsaw, I think 2 years ago, 2019. Yeah. And he arranged for a studio, and we were playing 2 nights. So I think we arrived the night before, maybe, I'm not sure, but I met him the next day, the day of my first show, and went to the studio with him, and we recorded. I don't know, maybe 3 hours we played. Just kept playing. And then he put it all together into a record. And my friend at Hollow Ground Records, Remo Sealand in Switzerland, I sent him what Jacek had put together, and he liked it. And it took him a year to get it out, but it did come out. So yes, it's very good.
We can buy in the Bandcamp of the record label.
Hollow Ground, yes, Hollow Ground.
Yeah.
And he may have physical copies, yeah.
Yeah, perfect.
And I think it's only vinyl. I don't know if he does CDs. I never received CDs.
No, I think it's only vinyl and digital.
Download, yes.
Digital download.
Yeah.
Download. Drag Acid, number 8.
Drag Acid, number 8. I have one of those here too.
The Photoscene.
Yes.
Yeah, pretty.
So that happened this year.
Yeah.
And that's from Ireland, and that's who I will be. Technically, he's putting on a show, and maybe I can play a couple other places in Ireland in October.
Yeah. The Drag Acid is a CDR, no?
Yes.
CDR format.
A CD in there, in the back. So you get the CD. It's a great program. Sarah from Thor and Friends does one too, and it's fantastic. I highly recommend going to the Drag Acid website and looking around. Look at some of those. They're really cool.
There are many many feelings of music, many tastes, many sensibilities.
Yes.
Sensibility? That collaborations with JC is a jazz musician, and your ambient solo records or your ambient solo creations,
Yes.
swans. They are all your feelings in music, all your creative roads or lines or emotions or.
Yeah, I think with especially the solo stuff, it's just what
Mm,
happens. I do this thing and it's just me. I'm not trying to
mm,
impress or play for somebody else. So that is
mhm,
actually what happens when I pick the thing up. Try to
mhm.
rein it in a little bit and try to make
Yeah.
it make a little sense instead of just going all over.
Steve Until says about rabbit holes like Alice in Wonderland and put
Uh,
in and see what is there, no? Or what is
Sometimes
that
it's like that.
feeling,
Yeah.
that note, and
It's a good way to start a piece is just do something. But I say that all the
yeah.
time when I play with people and we're working on something.
Mm-hmm.
I decide when I'm getting to this point, I'm just going to do something. I don't know what, but
Mm-hmm.
something, and try to do something that I'm not prepared for and see what
Yeah.
happens. Sometimes it's not so good, but sometimes it can be magic.
Yeah. For me, your solo records, I love it. It's the texture, it's like try to take the air. That knows being physical and putting that music in that feelings, in that emotion, and being environment uh, surrounding
Mm-hmm.
surrounding about your music. It's physical
Is it?
for me.
Okay. Oh,
It's
nice.
physical music. I feel like physical music
I try to make it
more
kind of
than no.
I try to make it kind of emotional. Whether the
Yeah,
emotion is to kind of fall
yeah,
back and just drift. I mean, that
yeah,
sometimes I used to always say, oh, just turn out the lights, lay on the couch, and just
yeah,
let your head go and
yeah.
see what the music does for you, which is any music, really. But, you know, sometimes music demands you listen
Yeah,
to me, this is what I want you to feel. Whereas I
yeah.
try not to do that.
So your songs are beginning from an improv,
It's all improv. I
all
call it
improv.
planned improv. Like when I do a set of live shows, I
Yeah,
have
yeah.
segments. I have an
Well,
idea of what I'm going to do. And then from
yeah,
there, it's different all the time. So then I can
yeah.
kind of branch out and maybe I do something I really like that I can add on and maybe replace a part I'm not so thrilled with
Mm-hmm,
anymore. Or I just out and out forget. And it's
mm-hmm.
just improv all the time.
Yeah.
I just did
Um,
a dance program for the Douglas Dunn dancers. We played 3 nights, and that was very
mhm.
exciting. I'm not sure where people can see that. I don't think it's
No.
on his website yet, but at some point, if you were to check up on Douglas Dunn, uh, maybe you'd be able to
With
see that
dancer, no?
with
With
dancers.
dancers.
Yes,
Wow.
with
Yeah.
yes, it was worked out. We had some rehearsals, even though the dance
Yeah.
doesn't really deal with
Yeah.
my music. I try to see what's happening and
Mm-hmm.
be kind of appropriate.
Mm-hmm.
It was very fun. It was my first dance program, first time I've worked with
So
dancers.
Norman Westberg can put to a big stage in a festival and make a little concert,
Make a little,
a little artistic things.
that would be nice.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, we
It's
work on
perfect.
it. I mean, the booking agent that books Swans helps
Yeah,
me get shows, except
perfect.
everything is shut down still, and there's nobody. I'm not jumping on any tours this year, But
Hmm.
there's next year. We'll see what happens next
Yeah.
year.
In the States, you can make music, no? Touring, or is
At your own peril. If you look at the map,
yeah,
if you look at the maps of the hot
yeah.
spots in the States, good
Hmm.
luck. You can play in New York, you can play in
Yeah,
Los
that.
Angeles, but anywhere in Middle America, I don't know. I don't know.
Uh,
It could be difficult. Sure, you can go play there, but
yeah, yeah,
it's a big red ball
yeah,
right there. I know bands that are touring, and
yeah, yeah, yeah.
we'll see. I don't
And
know. It's just nerve wracking. I'm a little
no, I think
nervous.
that the next year, um, something going better with the vacuum and
Yeah,
normal is going to better, better situation. But
I hope so. But then look at
uh,
all the bands that we probably lost. We'll call it
yeah,
2 years, like last year
yeah,
and this year. Because all
yeah,
these bands, the only way they get better is playing in front of people. And that's
hmm,
how people find out about them, I think.
hmm,
Because you have to experience something live.
yeah,
It's so different than just,
yeah,
seeing a video or listening to a
yeah,
record. And that's bands get
mm,
popular live, especially in Europe. And then
yeah,
suddenly
yeah,
that's not happening. So there's probably a lot of bands that maybe had to stop, just say,
yeah.
well, it's not going to happen for us. And then something else happens
Mm.
in life. So much about momentum.
Because they are 2 years. So next
Yes.
year, 2 years
Well,
without
we're
touring.
saying next year, right? We're
Yeah.
being optimistic here.
And in the you are in Swans now?
No,
No,
no.
you are touring with Swans
I
in
was going to open for Swans in
yeah,
Europe, yes,
perfect. Yeah.
which would have been
And
interesting, but that didn't happen. And it might happen next year. We'll see what happens. You never know.
mhm. The last years, uh, touring in big festivals, in theaters, big stage. What's your regrets from that years?
From last
They
year or
are
the year before,
they are 14 years career,
right?
40, 40. No, not
Well,
14, 40, 40 around in 30, 35 or 40 years career with Swans.
let's see.
And
I joined in, I think, 84 and
yeah,
then left in 89 and then did sporadic things in
yeah,
for the next whatever years. And then I don't remember what year the Great Annihilator was, but that was a brief,
hmm,
say, 3 weeks with no touring. And then when the
yeah.
Swans regrouped thing that Michael put together, yes, from then on it became kind of a career. But I've been playing all
Yeah,
that time, but
many chains, no? The 80s,
right.
the 19s and 20,
Yes.
last 10 years, many chains.
Yes. I think he
Uh,
finally fine-tuned it to what he really wanted, that last thing. But I'm sure he
yeah.
wants something else. He wants more, more. He
Hmm.
always wanted more.
um, Playing with a band like Swans is more than play music. And,
Any band is more than any band, it is more than playing
yeah,
music. It's your gang.
yeah.
And you live the life of your band members, really, you
Hmm.
know. And yes, Swans was like that. You're on the bus. Well, we actually got to tour in a bus.
Yeah.
And when we first started playing the shows, we toured in vans.
Hmm.
And yeah, you have to learn how to deal with each other. It's
Hmm.
easy sometimes. You want it to be
Yeah.
usually be easy. There's always going to be difficult periods,
Yeah.
but you want to be able to
Yeah.
have more. easy periods, really. Yeah, nobody ever said it
And
was easy being in a band. But yes, it is more than
no,
just, we're saying, it's more than just music.
and in live concerts, in live, uh, Swans was and is one of the most special bands for many people of many styles and
Yeah.
different people. We love Swans. We like the music of Swans, that emotions in live concerts.
Right. Well, there you go. Another thing. It's like, I think you have to go to a Swans concert. Like,
Yeah,
really, yeah, you have to be there. Like,
yeah.
throughout the career of Swans, it's really, you get something different when you go to a live concert from listening to a
Mm-hmm.
record, and you don't really understand quite what's what
Mm-hmm.
it's really all about. And then you have to come
Yeah.
talk to us too, and see
Mm-hmm.
what we're like and go, oh, wow, I'm really confused now.
Yeah. For you, when you play, you have play in live with Swans. Um, it's a Swans make a documentary where the body sent, no? Where those the body sent the documentary.
Right.
Uh, is this the feeling? Play music, but nobody's just music, just feeling a band, um, five or six that gang
Hmm.
playing and making music.
Right. And it's not just any music. I don't think many people play music. I don't think many people could play music like Swans. Michael has a unique vision, and he knows how to
Mm.
find the people that he can get to do that and contribute and
Mm-hmm.
inspire him a little more to push that much harder. It's not the easiest band to play in, both, physically, and, sometimes you just want to go, play. And it's not really
Yeah,
rock music. It's
yeah.
sometimes you get to do a little bit of that, but you
Mm-hmm.
sneak it in maybe. But yeah, it's not really about that. That's the
Mm-hmm.
only band I play like that in, because that's the
Yeah.
only band that does that. No other band really. It's not a lot of room for that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think.
Uh, in Bilbao, friends of bueno, my friends say to is need to the amps
Yes.
of the state and ah, I, I don't have the that word. It's clavar is ah to
Are you trying to describe Thor's bells?
the amps to the to to the place for don't move with the sound with the volume. The
I
amps
don't understand.
are moving. The amps are moving when swans play in that place, and some people need to. Uh, don't worry. I
Are you
don't try
talking about who
this
moves
question.
all those amps? We do. We have help,
uh,
which is nice.
I'll say you. I'll say to you after writing, and
Oh, okay.
because it's well, the evolution in your music from the beginnings, the 80s, that no way for that no scene or Detroit, New York, that times
Hmm.
punk rock is there too, rock and many movements and many people making things.
Yes, there was a big scene in New York when Swan started, with Sonic Youth, Radar, Live Skull, all these, so many bands playing. And a lot of them, there's always been a lot of bands in New York. There are very few scenes. Every so often one pops up, then you get a lot of like-minded people that get together, which is kind of what happened then in the mid-'80s. But very fun and exciting, if you're a part of it. I guess it's not so exciting if you're on the outside or if you're not quite, it's all luck. You meet the right people at the right time and you're ready to go. That's what I always say.
Yeah.
People ask me, how do you do it? How do you play guitar and how do you get in bands? Like, well, you have to go to where the people that are like you go, and you have to be ready to go. You can't say no. It always has to be yes. Yes, I'm ready. Let's go. Let's do this. So just like any job, if you ever do freelance, you know what that's all about.
Yeah. As many people, creative people.
Yes.
Creative people.
Did gravitate to New York. I don't know what it's like now. I'm not really out there like I was. And I think with the internet and this kind of thing, you can be anywhere. Even when I was a kid in Detroit, you either went to New York or Los Angeles. Los Angeles was like the slicker. And not really that guy. So I moved to New York. I was more interested in, it seemed more arty. Like there was more art, a little leeway. I'm not a super great player technically. So New York seemed to be the place to go. Even though Detroit has really a great history of music. And look, there's tons of really cool bands out of there now. Look at Jack White. He's one of like the leading superstars in the world now. And I think he still is in Detroit.
MC5, they are from
Detroit area.
Well,
and the Stooges, they're all from above, I think, Ypsilanti in that area, like Madonna, Ypsilanti, the Detroit area.
You have see how when you start to make music, and what is the thing to, I try to make music.
I was living with my buddy in Detroit. I had been playing guitar for years, and I met him at a bar, the punk rock bar. And he had a guitar, I have a guitar, so we got together. And then we formed Route 666. And it's on a compilation. There's a Detroit punk rock. Let me see. I don't have it right here. That's too bad. It's sold out. But there's a Detroit compilation of all the bands from that time period, like the mid to late 70s, the 27, the Sillies, Cinecide. So many bands are on this thing. And we're on that because my friend growing up was the singer, and he owned this building that we rehearsed at. And we had a drummer at one point, but it might have been one of the drummers from one of the other bands that were living in this hall. And my buddy recorded it on a boombox. And when Robert St. Mary came to me about it, sure enough, I got a hold of these. I had these cassette tapes, so I got a song on there. And Robert St. Mary, it's called the Detroit Punk Archives, and he has a website, and it's fascinating. It really, it's fascinating to me. But who knows?
No,
somebody outside of Detroit.
Send to me the link, link or that web.
Okay, remind me about that, and I will.
Okay, will be perfect.
And that's where it started, and then but it was. Saw all the bands, saw the Ramones, saw all the local bands, Destroy All Monsters, Sonic's Rendezvous, and then loved PIL and that whole kind of freedom kind of thing. Like, wow, you don't have to play rock songs. This is really interesting. And then I moved to that band kind of fell apart. And then I moved to New York and started doing auditions and met Ivan from Ritual Tension. And we formed the band Carnival Crash. And then through that band, I met the bass player in Swans at that point. And that's how I got into Swans. Just being in the right place, meeting the same type of people. You know, interesting how that works. Like they said, it's not really a small world. It's a big world with a small kind of homing device for certain people.
One friend talks about the islands, the people like islands, and many we are not alone, but we are in islands. And these friends are in one island, these friends are in one other island, and we are.
That's a very small area. I think if you're involved in music in Iceland, I think everybody knows who you are.
The evolution of your music with Swans and your solo projects seems to me more than being a road to one place to other, being a road to ourselves, to yourself, and it's like aligned, but to you, to yourself. Introspective?
Yeah, I think my solo music is. Yes.
Yeah.
Because it is. It's just me. I'm not getting any advice from somebody else, like going, oh, I really like when you do that. You know, do more of that thing. Whereas for me, which is kind of scary, because I find like a lot of things that I really like, nobody else likes. So I have to think about that. I'm like, oh, if I'm really liking what I'm doing, I'm in trouble. I'm the only one that's going to deal with it. But yeah, just have to put it out there and see what happens. I'm very happy for everybody that does like my music. I mean, I'm so thrilled. And with this modern age, I can make my own CDs. I can sell them myself. It's all just, I can keep everything out of it. Everybody, you know, I don't have to be beholden to anybody except myself. It's fantastic.
Yeah, one of that special things is you in Etsy, you have your records in your solo records in Etsy, Jewels from Jennifer too.
Bandcamp.
Jewels. No, Jewels.
I don't.
Jewels. Earrings.
Etsy.
Etsy. In
My
Etsy,
wife makes
you
jewelry.
have your records and
I
your
sell on Etsy, but I think that's going to end soon, and I'm going to go full on Bandcamp and sell merch through Bandcamp.
Wow.
But Etsy has, like they say, Etsy's been very good to me.
Etsy's yourself.
Yeah, so that
it's
was
the new
fun.
punk.
All sorts of interesting things, though. Etsy, there's lots of restrictions shipping to Europe now.
Yeah.
And I started noticing that shipping to Europe, the shipping itself costs as much as the product, and I feel bad about that. So as far as any of the LPs go that I'm involved with, since they're European labels for the most part,
sometimes
they ship in Europe and they send me some records for me to ship here.
Sometimes with the LPs, there are problems to States to Europe.
Yes,
it's true.
Yeah,
it's true.
Yeah, because
it's in many years. In 1 year, in maybe now, but a few months. In few next month, no, and in November again, and
I've been very lucky with my Etsy. I haven't, as far as I know, unless somebody doesn't say, Everybody's always got their CDs. Like I've never had people write me going, I didn't get it. I had one guy write me for a limited edition saying, I never got it. And then I'm like, oh, what do I do? Because it's a limited edition. Like,
Yeah.
all I can do is return his money because I sell out because I only do, say I do 75. And those earlier ones, I'd sell them out. I might have had another one. But then I refunded his money, but then he wrote back to me, go, oh, it was stuck to the bottom of some letter at the post office. They eventually got it. So no, I've been very, knock on wood, lucky with my shipping.
I think was 13. My first listen to your music, to your solo music, and one of the things you put your Etsy link and then Etsy to Bandcamp and then in Bandcamp listen and was what like wow. I like it's for me it's music to don't make another thing. It's not music to clean the house or or running or no. It's not that type of music.
No, not really. I think it's good if you're doing some kind of not necessarily mindless work, but it's there and it will help you, give you energy to do woodworking or if you're doing really like computer, not writing where you have to really think, but if you're doing some kind of physically, I do photography. So I do a lot of matting and washing out of backgrounds. And it's good for that because I don't have to really think about that. I just do it. And then I can it's good music for that kind of thing. My wife listens to it for making jewelry. Yes.
Yeah. And that jewelry make your wife the or put the gems and the forms.
Yes. She doesn't cast anymore. She has them cast. But yeah, you've looked at the jewelry?
Yeah.
It's very beautiful. I have quite a few things going on here.
Yeah. You write
stories
or phrases or
not really. I mean, it's kind of one of those. It's like I dream I can dance, which I can't dance, but it's a fun dream, or sing, or that kind of thing. I would like to, once again, it's something you have to do, and I just don't really get into. I listen, but I don't write personally. I'm being bothered to write stories. I tell stories, so if I could write them down, I'd be in good shape. But then I might start, and I just get bogged down with the technicalities. So, and you're a writer.
No, not so much. Only 3 or 5 words. 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
And after 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes.
Yeah. I get intimidated.
No more of that.
I know people.
No more of these.
They write me letters, and they're big, long letters, and they're so put together, and they express so much. And I have 5 words. Yeah. Very to the point, I guess.
Someone says the writing is put words with grace.
Yes, I guess it's like music, playing music. It can be graceful. It has to. I say that about my ambient music is I try to have a conversation. I'm trying to be a soothing, nice conversation. It's not loud. I don't play loud.
Yeah.
even my live shows, for the most part, I don't think it's not really about volume for me. I don't want the volume.
Yeah.
It's still, there's lots of dynamics, but
Yeah.
but yes, it's trying to have a conversation. And
Mm-hmm.
I can feel when there's just nothing being said when I'm playing. So maybe I have to move and do something else. Which is nice about recording in my home here,
Yeah.
is if it's not happening, I put it down, I go make some tea, and then I come back, or I don't come back. I come back the next day and I maybe have this idea that I want to work on, and then I can try again until it works.
When you play solo music, use delays,
Yes.
loops.
You want to see the whole...
It's a pedal board in States in
Here, I'll show you the whole thing.
Don't play with feet.
Don't play with what?
With foot?
No.
With the foot?
I don't. I guess I'm considering. So here's my typical live setup. So you have delays.
Echo maleco.
Loopers.
Dito? Yeah.
A delay. These are just like I use as basically preamps. They're just distortion boxes. Delay and a master delay, which splits everything. So then there's amps that I have mic'd up so that I can always be ready to just turn everything on and I can play. So there's a steel, a cello, back guitar, more stuff, more guitars. This is a fun guitar. It's a left-handed guitar. I set it up for left-handed, so just so that I could do that. And that's it. So that's my typical, I might add some things, but that's my normal live setup and recording. I might play a different guitar. There's a variety of different instruments to play with, but even any guitar pretty much goes through that. I accidentally turned off the phone. Okay.
4 or 5 delays?
I have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 altogether. I use the main delay to keep notes going. That splits it, and I can keep it going, and there's a very slow decay if I want it. And then I can set up loops as I play with the TCs. Excuse me. But yes.
No, don't worry.
I often, like, I'll do a show and I'll never use the loopers. I just won't use the loop for some reason. I just don't feel like using them. And then even the delays, not everything. Sometimes I don't use them all at the same time. But they just bring in little different textures, textural changes. And I'll mess with the delays as I play too.
There are no notes. It's for me the one when I see you you playing live. You are quiet and playing with the pedals and making some notes but they are not notes.
I think
it's only sound.
I'm not necessarily. Yes, I try to get away from that.
Frequencies,
it's
not notes. They are frequencies.
Necessarily sound like a guitar.
Yeah, they are waves, or air, or is that?
I don't do a lot of like single note things. There's a song on the Room 40 release, After Vacation.
Yeah.
The song After Vacation, I recorded the acoustic guitar part, and it was my mix of it is you barely even hear it. And then I sent it off to Lawrence Then when he sent it back, the acoustic guitar was the main thing. I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
So I play that live, and I set up a loop and turn it way down, and then I turn all the delays down so I can play the actual After Vacation song, so to speak. And there's a couple other bits I do that I think I do a version of Jasper Sits Out where you would recognize it as guitar. It's built on a droney kind of thing, but then there's a melody.
Yeah.
I play melodies over the top. But I know what you mean, yes. And I'm trying to bridge that gap. I want it to be guitar playing because that's what it is. It's even what you're saying, where it's just like these kind of waves. It's still guitar.
Something ethereal, ethereal.
Right, ethereal. And it's all guitar, and that's what and for the most part, except for the Room 40 release, it's all just one go. There's no overdubbing. It's just, that's what happened when I was playing it with whatever mistakes, which, what is a mistake when you're dealing with that kind of thing? Probably something good, get you out and thinking.
In many concerts, your audience is metalheads, punks.
Well, with swans, not really for my stuff.
All the people is quiet. Usually the people is quiet. You play, and the people is in silence.
Yeah, no. Especially if I'm opening for somebody. If I'm opening for a band, then no. A lot of times people
no silence.
No silence. So I did a thing on the Michael tour. I would come out first, and we were in Greece, I believe, in Athens, and everybody was talking in this bar, and it sounded amazing. I really loved the way it sounded with all these people talking. So I had a microphone, and I got set up, and everybody got quiet, and I asked them at the end, when I'm near the end of what I'm going to do, I'm going to signal you, and I want all of you to start talking to each other. Don't talk to me. Talk to everybody else. Talk like you were talking when I came out here, when OMD was playing on the stereo. And they did it really good, except I noticed some people were like yelling at me. I'm like, no, not me. Talk to the guy next to you, just but loud. So I got quiet, and I have a recording of that. And I think I sent it to somebody to use on a compilation. And it came out really good. They were the best audience. I started doing that at every audience. But not everybody was I guess they didn't quite understand what I was trying to get them to do.
Yeah. For the next year, when you start the concert.
A lot of my live recordings I do, there's a lot of chatter.
Yeah.
Which is frustrating, but normal.
Yeah. People.
That's right. That's why I like playing art galleries. In art galleries, people, tend to be a little more respectful. Whereas a bar, they can't help it. They're going to talk. They talk during the headlining band, too. I've seen that a lot. And it's like, what? Why are you even here? Why are you here if you're going to talk really loudly over this band that theoretically you paid to come see?
Yep. So that's the question.
It's a mystery.
Pay 20 or 30 and always talking and not listening to music.
Maybe that's how they listen. I don't know. Maybe we all have the wrong idea. Maybe you're supposed to be like just talking constantly, and it makes it better.
But for your music, for your solo records, for your solo music, that art galleries or that places, cultural places, are better.
Right. I think so.
Maybe little places, but with people listening and living the experience.
That
because I think music is experience.
right, and it's not a bar. A bar people might just go to anyway. They don't really
Yeah.
care what's going on. They go to the bar to drink and talk.
Yeah.
And there's some guy up there making a bunch of noise. Well, we can be louder than him. He's not that loud. And I also love playing in restaurants. There's a restaurant in Brooklyn, the Lighthouse, that I've played at twice, except I want people to talk in that situation. The whole point is for them to talk. So if I'm playing and I hear nobody's talking, then I'm worried. I have to quiet, they should be talking. They're not supposed to listen to me. They're supposed to be eating and doing their thing, and I'm supposed to be innocuous.
Yeah.
But that's very fun.
For October, November, the new dates or
No, just the thing
concert?
in Ireland in October, theoretically.
Ireland?
Ireland, yes, outside of Dublin.
Nice place.
Don't know. We'll find out.
Don't know. Not are you before in Ireland? Is your first time in Ireland, or?
I've been there, but the venue I believe is an art gallery, and we'll see. And then the other venues, I'm not sure. Like I wouldn't be playing any of the places I've played before, although that's kind of not necessarily true. I've played small rooms at the same venue Swans have played.
Yeah.
And it's really fun to show up and go, oh yeah, and it's the same people I saw before, except now I'm on my
own. Maybe we can do something in Barcelona next year.
I would love that. I would love to do a tour of Europe, and I love Barcelona. We went there, my wife and I went to Barcelona and Madrid for our honeymoon so many years ago. And it was, we did all the tourist stuff, and it was nice.
Well, Barcelona for swans was a special city.
Yes, that was Primavera usually, I believe.
Yeah. I see that night. I see you.
Yeah.
First in Neubaten, then Neubaten, and after play swans.
Oh.
In that stage in 2010 or
right, the big bowl stage. Who else was playing that festival? Was that the Neubauten one?
I think it was the first big festival, no, for swans.
Oh, okay. Because we were there once and we saw Per Ubu do dub housing, which was amazing, and we saw John Cale do Paris 1919. That was incredible. And the Neubauten shows were great. And I saw Pulp. I'm a huge Pulp fan. But it was tough. The audience was really hard. I'm not used to that kind of audience. People jumping around, you couldn't move. So that wasn't that much fun for me, but at least I got to go see it.
You play in Apollo in that place in Barcelona, Red Theater with the big balls in.
Yes,
that is Apollo. You play with swans, and I think the next year the place is there. That's the state for you. Solo and swans.
Wow, that was where Patti Smith played too.
Yeah.
At Primavera in the inside venue, right? That's what you're saying. Yeah. That's where the John Cale show was. Inside. Yeah.
And that year with the new places like Instagram, Zoom, Facebook,
really,
all these things. What's your opinion? Is the new fanzines, the new do-it-yourself, the new medias to share music, share conversations, being connected?
But it's not the same as going to a show. I mean, having like that live feed at a concert hall isn't going to be even close to being there.
Yeah.
But I guess if you can't be there and it's an option, I don't know. For me, I think you have to be there. It's
We
fun
need to go
to
to concerts.
it's fun to watch the things too. I mean, some concerts are. I used to go to big stadium concerts when I was a kid. I could never do that now. Never
Yeah.
stand there in a football stadium all day
Yeah.
to stare up at a band. I couldn't do
Mm-hmm.
it anymore.
No.
So yes, I'll watch it. I'll watch it if it's that. If I like the band that much, I would love to watch it in the comfort of my own home with all
Yeah.
these professional cameras on it. So yeah, I guess it is a
Mm-hmm.
good thing. It will never replace being there, but I think maybe being there is for younger
Mm-hmm.
people. I don't know. I hate to age myself that much because I do like going to concerts, but some of them are just way too much. Like that Pulp concert. I would have loved to have seen them in a theater, where
Yeah.
everybody's sitting down and it's still exciting, but it was a madhouse there.
When I talk about the 80s and that concert, that scene, if you see that era, and now it's like uh, sometimes or anytime will be the same or not. It's not possible to repeat
By
that
who? Who
concert.
would repeat it though? Because the actual people who played it can't. That's why
Yeah.
Swans, when we first started playing again, we were doing some old songs and we
Mm-hmm.
could kind of do them, but Michael and I would look at each other and go, you're not in the same place because
Yeah.
everything musically, what we do is us.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it just felt bad. It didn't feel right. Like we're
Yeah.
pretending. Like I always think it's funny, mean. Oh, the band is so angry. What do you got to be
Yeah.
angry about? It's just an act.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah,
It's
which we weren't prepared to do. So there were a lot
mm-hmm.
of old Swan songs that got nixed in rehearsal
Mm-hmm.
right away. But if there's new music all the time. There's new scenes.
Mm-hmm.
They're all
Mm-hmm.
different. And I'm sure there's a scene that's similar to the one in the 80s, where it's mainly art type people getting together. Maybe they don't
Mm-hmm.
play so well, but they have this vision, they have this idea of what they want to do, and they meet some other people with the same. Yeah, they're
Mm-hmm.
there. But the minute I walk in, it's over, because it
Yeah.
has to be their scene.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like they would call me like maybe it used to be I would walk into a venue and they'd think I was with a record label because
Mm-hmm.
I was a little older, not as old as like 20 years ago. They figured I must be a record label guy, which is a pretty good guess, A lot
Mm-hmm.
of times I'd be looking for drummers, so I'd be there scouting out people to potentially play with. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, there's tons of music going on. It's just we are not privy to it. There's scenes happening. It'll never end. There'll always be a scene of some sort.
Mm-hmm. Feels lucky to live that 80s. That
Yes, I feel very fortunate to have been involved in that. Yes. And it was great for me. I was
mm-hmm.
plugged in and I was at the right point in
Yeah.
my lack of adulthood and maturity that I could do that. And that was all there
mm-hmm.
was. I mean, that's what I lived for, was doing that.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I'm not quite sure how it is for kids now. There's so
Mm-hmm.
much going on. There was no internet or anything back then. So they have
Yeah.
to figure out how to navigate all that themselves.
Mm-hmm. You have a daughter?
A daughter, yeah,
Daughter?
she's 11.
Mine is 8,
Hey, yeah.
and I have one daughter of 8 and a kid of 6, and they are another generation.
That's right. Who knows what they're going to do?
But completely different.
Yes.
The the relationship with the music is completely different, like our relationship with music.
But then my parents, I didn't grow up with music. My parents weren't musical. We didn't have records. I have older siblings that had records, but they weren't obsessed with them, you know, any more than any teenager would be, you know, with the Beatles. The new Beatles record is coming out. But I wasn't, it's just something I always loved. For some reason, I latched onto it without any support. Well, there was support. You know, they got me guitar lessons and took me to them, but it wasn't like I was surrounded by music growing up. So I don't know what my daughter's going to do. She's surrounded with any instrument she could want to play, but not that interested. She plays violin.
I think the same, eh?
She plays violin.
I feel the same.
She's much better. I can't follow what she's doing, and I'm very impressed with what she's doing.
For me, it's like I'm so simple for her. She's more most complicated.
Complicated.
Yeah, it's more complex. I'm most simple.
Okay, I get that. I feel the same way too.
Yeah. Is that she's surrounding about music because we have instruments, but there are many inputs. In that time, in these times, like in our times, music for us was a sociable, make most sociable.
Yes, I think
sociability.
Social? Yeah.
Social.
You go to somebody's house and you listen to records.
Yeah, it's friends sharing music and talking about music, and they have video games, television.
Yeah, we didn't do that.
Netflix, YouTube.
That's after me. Yeah, but now, yes, it's video games.
Yeah. So if you can say something, I'm so I feel so lucky, and really it's a pleasure to have you and learning about you that Saturday. And wanna say something or?
I'd like to know, do you archive this so people can watch? Is that how it works?
Yeah. Okay. The conversation put in 2 minutes when we close the conversation.
Right.
Instagram automatically apps. And I send to you the link. Excellent. And after I put in YouTube, all the world can see. I can speak in English, but with the universal language of music, we can understand, and we can talk about emotions and experiences and the important.
Yes. Well, that was a very fun talk. I enjoyed talking with you and showing you around my little nest here.
Yeah.
And yes, very much fun. And what's the big, I guess my major, somewhere along the line, I learned a major life motto, which is you never say never.
Yeah.
I used to do that a lot. Another bad one with me is I'd say no. Think about it for a second before you say no. I still do it too much, but
thanks.
I try. All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Big hug. Have a nice Saturday.
Ciao.
Bye.